Have you ever experienced a subtle comment or action that left you feeling uncomfortable or dismissed, even if you couldn't quite put your finger on why? Sometimes, these small moments can be more impactful than overt discrimination. For queer families, microaggressions are the subtle, often unintentional, everyday slights and indignities that communicate hostile, derogatory, or negative messages because of their sexual orientation, gender identity, or family structure. These can accumulate and create a constant sense of otherness and invalidation for parents and children alike. The core reason these seemingly minor interactions are so impactful is their cumulative effect and the underlying biases they reveal. Microaggressions often stem from unconscious assumptions about what constitutes a normal or traditional family. They can imply that queer families are less legitimate, less loving, or somehow incomplete, even when the speaker intends no harm. This persistent questioning of identity and belonging chips away at a family's sense of security and acceptance, forcing them to constantly justify their existence. Recognizing microaggressions means listening not just to the words, but to the implied message. For example, asking queer parents, "Which one of you is the real mom or dad?" implies that a family can only have one of each. Similarly, saying, "Your kids are so well-adjusted, I never would have guessed you were a queer family," suggests that queer parenting inherently leads to maladjustment. Even well-meaning compliments like, "It is so brave of you to raise a family like this," can imply a burden or abnormality rather than celebrating diversity. Another common microaggression involves what is known as assumption of cis-heteronormativity. This is when people automatically assume that all families consist of a mother and a father, or that children will grow up to be heterosexual and cisgender. This can show up in school forms that only have spaces for mother and father, or in conversations where friends assume a child will date someone of the opposite gender. These assumptions erase the reality of queer families and force them to constantly correct or explain their identity. Understanding and addressing microaggressions helps to create more inclusive spaces for everyone. It reminds us to challenge our own assumptions, listen with empathy, and recognize the impact of our words and actions, however small they may seem. By fostering environments where all families feel seen, respected, and affirmed, we build stronger, more supportive communities for our children to thrive.
If you're into this, like, subscribe, and drop a comment.